Hello, Warriors family. Gather round and brace yourselves, because today's update might just reshape our season outlook in ways we never saw coming. Before we dive into the heart of this breaking development, go ahead and obliterate that like button and hit subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report so you're locked in on every twist and turn this saga brings. Word has just come down that Brandon Podziemski, the rookie sharpshooter whose ice-cold demeanor and deadly accuracy from beyond the arc have added a refreshing spark to Golden State's backcourt, is set to undergo surgery on his left wrist. That's right. Fresh off flashes of brilliance and those clutch three-point bombs that had fans on their feet, Podziemski now faces a medical procedure that could sideline him for weeks, if not months. But what does this mean for the Dubs, and how might it fuel even wilder moves from our front office? Let's rewind to just a few weeks ago, when the 2025 draft's second-round gem emerged as a hidden weapon in Steve Kerr's rotation. With Steph, Curry's deep range, and Klay Thompson's off-ball threat, Brandon brought a new dimension: nerveless shooting, poise in traffic, and that swagger that comes from knowing your shot will fall. In limited minutes, he averaged near 40% from downtown, providing valuable floor spacing and forcing defenders to respect his pull-up game. Now, with wrist surgery looming, Warriors Nation is left to wonder, can we maintain that spacing? And more intriguingly, could this medical setback be the catalyst for even bolder roster maneuvers? Could it be possible that the front office, unwilling to let our momentum slip, already has one eye on a midseason reinforcement? Imagine a scenario where Golden State leverages this injury news to explore trade opportunities for an established wing or stretch big, someone with proven playoff mettle who can step in and keep that offense humming. Some insiders believe that teams within the league are quietly monitoring Podziemski's recovery timeline, gauging whether to field calls or sit tight until he returns. We might even see whispers of a veteran to be acquired for a future second-rounder, or a sign-and-trade package that doesn't cost us core rotation pieces. Meanwhile, let's consider the emotional impact in the locker room. Brandon's infectious energy and rookie-year fearlessness quickly made him a fan favorite and a teammate everyone roots for. Draymond Green, always the vocal leader, was often seen pumping him up after those mid-range bombs. Andrew Wiggins talked about pushing him. In practice, even Kevon Looney complimented his court vision. When a young player's first major hurdle arrives, it can either forge greater unity or introduce a wavering confidence among the supporting cast. I'm betting on the former. Golden State's culture thrives on resilience. Could missing pods in the rotation actually galvanize Curry, Thompson, and Green to elevate their own levels and mentor him through rehab? Let's not overlook the tactical chess match that Steve Kerr must now play. Without Brandon to stretch defenses, opposing coaches might throw extra bodies into the paint, daring Klay to beat them, or worse, double-steaming Steph off the ball to clog driving lanes. Kerr could counter with small-ball lineups featuring Kevon or Jordan Poole at the 4, or lean more heavily into Draymond's playmaking to swing the offense through the post. But balancing those experimental looks mid-season can be risky, especially when every Western Conference rival is salivating at the chance to capitalize on a potential Golden State stumble. And speaking of rivals, picture the hot takes from Los Angeles and Phoenix. Lakers fans have been quietly lobbying for every weakness they can find. Suns analysts are already debating whether DeAndre Ayton's presence could punish our front court if defenses collapse on Curry. Will this injury invite a wave of exploitation, or will it simply be another rallying cry for Dub Nation to double down on belief? On the financial front, it's worth noting that Brandon's rookie contract is a team-friendly deal, leaving us payroll wiggle room. If his absence extends beyond the standard recovery window, let's say 8 to 10 weeks, could Golden State dip into that wiggle room to pursue a buyout candidate? Imagine scooping up a veteran wing who's fallen out of rotation elsewhere but still packs a scoring punch. The possibilities are endless. from a savvy midseason addition to a deadline day blockbuster that catches the league off guard. We also can't ignore the narrative arc of Brandon's personal journey. Young players often face adversity early in their careers, and how they rebound can define their legacy. Might Podziemski return from surgery hungrier than ever, channeling the rehab grind into an off-season transformation that sees him enter 2025-26 as an even more lethal shooter? Some insiders whisper that he's already eyeing next summer's training program, mapping out return timelines and rehab protocols with a precision that mirrors his on-court shot discipline. But let's shine a light on the question burning under every Dub Nation fan's sleeve. Does this mean we circle back to pursuing a marquee trade? Could the Warriors front office pivot from a cautious wait-and-see stance to an aggressive all-in approach, potentially dangling future first-round picks or even a core rotation piece in exchange for immediate help? It's possible that this injury news serves as the impetus for accelerated trade discussions. We've seen it before, the Celtics making a splash deal when an injury hits, the Lakers bolstering their roster mid-season. Now, Golden State could follow suit, refusing to let a single injury derail a championship chase. At the same time, pause for a moment to appreciate the bigger picture. Golden State's identity has long been defined by resilience and adaptation. Recall when Klay tore his ACL and Kerr seamlessly recalibrated the offense to ride the Curry-Thompson duo. Remember when Draymond faced suspension and the team leaned on veteran depth to slide into another finals. This franchise has always rebounded from adversity with a renewed sense of purpose. If Brandon Podziemski's wrist surgery represents our latest challenge, we should expect nothing less than a collective roar from the locker room and a strategic masterstroke from the front office. Now, as this story unfolds, keep your eyes peeled for updates on the surgery timeline, the expected return date, any setbacks in his rehabilitation, and quotes from coaching staff or team medical personnel. These details will set the stage for whether Golden State stands pat or leaps into action. Could we see a pre-Christmas return that reignites our December schedule, or will Brandon's comeback align with the crucial playoff push in April? Only time will tell. Warriors faithful, we've laid out the gravity of Brandon Podziemski's injury, explored the strategic crossroads it creates, and hinted at the tantalizing roster possibilities this setback could unlock. Stay tuned, because in Part 2, we'll break down specific trade rumors, analyze cap space gymnastics in exact figures, and forecast the championship implications if the front office pulls the trigger on a high-profile addition. Until then, keep your faith strong, because in Dub Nation, adversity is just another pathway to greatness, and the next chapter of this story promises to be a blockbuster. Smash that like button and subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report right now, so you're the first to know every twist in this saga. Now, let's dive into the nitty-gritty of how the front office could capitalize on Brandon Podziemski's wrist surgery and what that could mean for our championship trajectory. Even before Podziemski heads into the operating room, whispers are circulating that Golden State holds a firm desire to add veteran shooting depth and backcourt insurance, especially given the rookie's timeline for recovery. With approximately 8 to 10 weeks of rehab ahead, execs may decide they can't afford to roll through the toughest part of the season without a reliable long-range threat. Picture Steve Kerr dialing up a mid-season deal, tapping into that team-friendly rookie contract flexibility to acquire a veteran wing from a team in flux, someone like a sharpshooter with playoff experience who can step in, hit open looks, and ease the spacing concerns that Podziemski's absence creates. It's easy to imagine phone lines lighting up between Golden State and teams seeking to offload unexpected talent, pitching a package that leverages a future second-round pick and a modest sweetener in exchange for a proven role player. Could this be the moment when Bay Area insiders pivot from waiting on Brandon's return to pulling the trigger on a buyout candidate or deadline day trade that shifts the season's balance? Beyond that, consider the cap sheet calculus required. to facilitate such a move. Although Brandon's rookie scale contract frees up some breathing room, Golden State still sits near luxury tax territory. Front office wizards could deploy a stretch provision to displace a veteran's salary, or engineer sign-and-trades that spin off expiring deals in return for the salary-matching contracts of incoming role players. Think about the ripple effect. If Otto Porter Jr. or Nemanja Bjelica agree to buyouts, those vacant spots become prime real estate for a midseason signing, or even a reclamation project from someone like a veteran wing who has fallen out of rotation elsewhere but still shoots above league average from three. The Warriors' ability to pull off these financial maneuvers will hinge on their willingness to sacrifice a little depth for a stabilizing presence that keeps defenses honest. After all, when opposing coaches no longer fear Brandon's pull-up jumper, they'll swarm the paint even harder, daring Curry and Thompson to beat them. In that scenario, bringing in a seasoned marksman becomes less a luxury and more a necessity. On-court dynamics would shift dramatically with a new hire. Without Brandon's cold-blooded threat, Draymond Green's playmaking role would grow even more central, orchestrating the offense out of the post and initiating handoffs. Klay Thompson might see an uptick in usage, carrying a heavier scoring burden when defenses overcommit. Meanwhile, Kevin Looney and James Wiseman would need to maintain their rim protection anchor status despite increased double teams on Curry. If the Warriors indeed add a veteran wing, Kerr would likely stagger minutes to preserve the team's trademark fluidity, blending old-school pick-and-pop sets with modern motion principles. Can you imagine the discussions in film sessions as Kerr diagram sets where Curry and Thompson collapse defenders, then kick out to a newly acquired sharpshooter spotting up from deep? It's the kind of chess match that could keep opponents off balance if the new piece integrates smoothly into the tight-knit chemistry that has defined Golden State's dynasty. Of course, the human element can't be ignored. Brandon Podziemski is more than just statistical value. He's a source of infectious energy and the embodiment of the team's culture of fearless shooting. His locker room presence has already earned him praise from veterans who see in him the confidence to take big shots without hesitation. When he returns, will he slip right back into his role, or will the midseason adjustments have altered the rotation so much that reclaiming his minutes proves a challenge? Some insiders argue that Podziemski will emerge stronger, inspired by the adversity to refine his mechanics and return as an even deadlier shooter next year. Others caution that a midseason trade could create awkward pecking orders. Veteran newcomers might demand more touches, potentially clashing with the young guns who have grown into their roles. Now, let's widen the lens. If Golden State executes a savvy acquisition, the rest of the Western Conference would instantly feel the pressure. The Phoenix Suns, who have contended with salary cap constraints of their own, might struggle to respond without sacrificing future flexibility. The Los Angeles Lakers, always chasing headline grabs, could be forced into a reactionary deal of their own, perhaps overpaying for a complimentary piece just to keep pace. Then there's the Minnesota Timberwolves, riding high on their recent surge, who would suddenly find themselves vying for a spot in the new pecking order. Every franchise would need to reassess their strategies. Is it time to punt on draft picks for proven stars, or do you double down on youth and hope your core develops faster? Meanwhile, media outlets and pundits would unleash endless debates. ESPN panels would analyze every cap figure, dissect rumored trade packages, and weigh the iadod, pros and cons of midseason roster churn. National NBA podcasts would dedicate hours to whether Golden State's move represents championship desperation or a masterstroke of opportunism. And in Bay Area sports bars, fans would argue over glasses of craft beer. Is this the boldest deadline move since the Warriors traded for Kevin Durant, or will it backfire by disrupting the team's identity? Through it all, one thing remains clear. Front offices build championship windows with both foresight and, in the moment, decisiveness. If the Warriors' brain trust views Brandon's wrist surgery as an inflection point, an opportunity rather than a setback, They could transform a rookie injury into a catalyst for greatness. This is the kind of bold thinking that has separated dynasties from pretenders. But if they hesitate, the season could slip away amid mounting losses and eroding confidence. But what do you think, Warriors Nation? Could a mid-season addition truly compensate for losing Podziemski's sharpshooting spark, or would it undermine the culture that has brought us 3 championships in 4 years? Personally, I'm torn between excitement at the prospect of injecting veteran firepower and a deep respect for the team's proven chemistry. One thing I know for sure is that in this franchise, challenges have always been met with reinvented strategies and renewed purpose. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below and see how you'd balance the risk and reward. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report, and click that notification bell so you never miss an update on the pursuit of another title. Until next time, stay golden.